Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. It is time to crown a champion here in the CIL summer season, the Garage Shop College Cup Series coming to you live from Legacy Atlanta Motor Speedway. We are in for a treat tonight because someone will walk out of here the Season 9 champ, the summer season for 2023. They will take home all the bragging rights this evening in what should be an absolute thriller of a race from an absolutely very difficult track. Four drivers have the opportunity to claim their championship here this evening. Some of them in this position for the first time in their young collegiate careers. Others of them have come so close before but looking to finally seal the deal. But all four of them have not won the Garage Shop College Cup Series championship yet, so no matter who ends up claiming it tonight, we will have an inaugural champion here in the CIL. I'm one half of the broadcast booth tonight, Alexander Gagnon. Alongside me, Josh Crane. Josh, what can we expect here from the playoff finale at Legacy Atlanta? A very difficult track.
A very difficult track indeed. Been watching these drivers get ready for, an hour or so. And true to form, these cars are really difficult on corner exit. It doesn't matter where, turn 2, turn 4. These are very difficult spots for those drivers. And these cars really like to get off the corner. And, it was a little bit prevalent at Homestead, especially on worn tires, Alex, last Monday night. But it is more so here. You really have to let the car come in, so it's a very patient, 5 laps or so, especially as we start this race, and then it will be patient again after we get 20-30 laps on these tires. The rear tires are going to be the ones to go here. I suspect. We know Atlanta is high degradation. Should we have a green flag run, we also know that there's a 2-stop strategy and a 3-stop strategy in play, depending on how these drivers, how much degradation we see, for fall off on these tires.
Yeah, no, you make a great point, especially with that fuel window being so close to the threshold on making a 2-tire stop or a 2-stop race work. It's going to really be interesting to see how these cautions might fall. If they go 2 stops, 3 stops, if it goes green all the way. I mean, obviously, less pit stops means more time on track, but with the high amount of tire degradation, you never know. The 3-stop might honestly be the way to go. It's certainly the safer way to go fuel-wise, but all things still left to play. And with this only being a couple minutes away from the start here, let's take a quick second to talk about the 4 drivers who have a chance to claim a title here tonight. One of them being on your screen right now, it's UNC Charlotte's Clint Halterman. He's already picked up 2 wins on the year and is tied for a series-leading 10 top 10s in 11 races. He's been the model of consistency so far in this summer season.
Yeah, and another driver that has been in the headlines is Zach DeWale from St. Clair College. That driver has been on a tear. Got his win ticket to the playoffs from Daytona, actually. Not one that you want to rely on, Alex, but it worked out for St. Clair there. And for this driver, Zach DeWale, and then made it in on points to the Final Four here in the playoffs. And we've already seen that he's got a lot of pace. Looks like some orange wheels on that St. Clair machine, but a lot of pace in that car as well.
Absolutely. And then our other 2 championship contenders, the driver who won at Dover, it is Andrew Williams from Clemson University. Picked up his first ever CIL victory earlier this year at Chicagoland. Put on his second of the season with that win at Dover, and now has punched his ticket here to Atlanta with a chance at a championship for Clemson University. And that does bring us to our final driver, Jason Willott out of Drexel. The man who has really pointed their way in through over the course of the season here, the only driver in the Final Four who does not have a win this season, but tenacity and consistency has been how Drexel finds themselves here in the hunt.
Yeah, Alex, we were just talking about how Drexel and Jason Willott specifically puts themselves in a great position at the end of every race, and very consistent, right? Maybe not in every highlight for the win there in Shambles at the end of a lot of races, but always top 5, top 8 or so And you can tell that Drexel University, Drexel Esports Chevrolet, with Wallet behind the wheel, that car is not in the playoffs by coincidence. That driver, that team, they have earned the yellow banners that you see on that race car.
Yeah, absolutely. As we see him taking a flying, or the replay of his flying lap here. But with those four still in the hunt for a championship, they have obviously more than 4 cars on track, but those are the 4 competing for the title. But a lot of talented drivers throughout the field, including last week's winner in Jake Cummings. Matthew Morton is here, who's won a series leading 4 times so far through the 11 races of the season. But it's time to take a look at our starting grid tonight for the Garage Shop College Cup Series from Legacy Atlanta. Rolling off on pole, his 4th pole in 12 races, it's Zach DeWell for St. Clair College. A great start for the driver of the O2 looking for that championship. You'll see Clint Halterman, his championship rival, rolling off 2nd from UNC Charlotte. Also championship rival Andrew Williams rolls off 3rd for Clemson alongside Garrett Fitton of Arizona State. Row 3, it's Matthew Nordberg, the first running alumni in the qualifying order, alongside Christian Hill of Mount St. Mary's. Row 4, Nick Stockner from Clemson University alongside Austin DeLong. Rolling off 9th, it's Edward Sanchez for Baruch College, alongside Cody Fadenhauer from VCU. And in row 6, you have Jason Wallet from Drexel University, the last of our championship 4 tonight, alongside his teammate in Timothy Wilms, rolling off 12th. 13th, it's Andrew Burrell from Clemson University, and rolling off 14th, it is Matthew Morton from The Ohio State University.
There you have it, and that's probably the second time that Matthew Morton and the Buckeyes have not set a qualifying lap, so maybe a bit of fun in store here would be that would be a storyline, Alex, to see that 13 charge up to the front from that position. We know that he can, of course, do that, so that would be another fun thing to watch. And yeah, we are going to be able to watch these drivers. 4 drivers. You can see the yellow banners, yellow spoilers, splitters on their car. But they do have to navigate the other drivers on track, and that's not going to be an easy task because everybody wants to finish the season on a high note, and everybody is going to be itching to have their best possible finish here as we get to the end of this one. And so it's also going to be compounded by the excitement in these Gen 4 race cars here.
Absolutely. Well, all the time for talk leading into the race is over. With the lights out on the pace car, we're just about to get the season finale underway from Legacy Atlanta. 3 of the top 4 cars rolling off here, a part of our championship 4 with Jason Wallet a little farther back with some work to do. All the prep has been finished. It is time to battle for 133 laps to crown the Garage Shop College Cup Series champ. The pace car peels away down pit road. The cars hit the Geico restart zone. Green flag in the air, and we are racing from Atlanta Motor Speedway. And already a car's in the infield. It looked like an orange one. It might have been Nick Stockner.
They are off. That is Stockner, but I don't know if the yellow is out right now. It is not showing, and we are showing all green up front. Clint Halterman is there at the lead, so straight away into turn 3 for the first time. It's going to be North Carolina at Charlotte, followed by the Golden Banners of St. Clair College and Zach DeWale, who is looking quite handily on the outside right there. And then Drew Williams, the Clemson Tiger, that driver is ready to pounce. But right here, we can see that 0-2 is ready to get the job done up on the high side.
Yeah, right now, Zach DeWale jumped out to a good run here on the outside. He'll take away the lead from Halterman, and over the course of a lap and a half, all 3 of them have had their opportunity at the point here. DeWale clears both of those cars. Now Williams will be battling alongside Halterman as they go into 3 and 4. That 07 grabbing the inside line, Williams on the outside. He'll retain just for the moment. Halterman will slide back into 3rd here. And it looks like the top 3 cars have sorted themselves out for just a second here and will begin to settle in for what will be hopefully a long opening stint to this race.
It could be, and we talked about, we even saw it at the start there. I would not be surprised if we need a few laps and a few yellow flags to get the jitters out here early. A lot of race car for this track. But up at the front right now, we are green, Alex, and that 23 car has kept that 2nd position and is now coming back up to the blue bumper of that 0-2. And St. Clair College here could be under fire. Clemson University, that is Andrew Williams, trying to get the pass done on Zachary DeWale as we move lap 4 right there. Big wiggle from Baruch College, and to the inside goes the lead. Race for the lead and race for the championship.
Yeah, Williams looked to the inside there. We did see Edward Sanchez get super loose off of 2, but the battle continues up front as Andrew Williams just right now kind of stalking the car in front of him there, and Zach DeWale looking to the outside, looking to the inside, just trying to get an idea not only about where he might be able to pass this 0-2, but also where his car starts running the best. He might have a chance down the backstretch here, really look to the inside, have to settle back in, and now we'll try this high lane, trying to find his way around the 0-2. No easy positions to be gained here, even in the early going, as both of these drivers know the track position is going to be absolutely crucial. The 23 will get credit for leading that lap, but the battle is far from over as they dive back in the 1.
Yeah, he will, and that's something that we have seen at Atlanta a lot. That car has an ability to have a lot of momentum on the outside. We've seen it with Carl Edwards, Jimmy Johnson. The car on the outside coming off turn 4 can just get a nose with a really good run, can just get a nose off the corner, and all these drivers know that, especially in the Golden Banners. And so, Alex, I think we have a new race leader right now. That is the Clemson Machine of 23 car. That is Drew Williams.
Yeah, Drew Williams to the point here once again on lap 7. His second stint in the lead here is a little farther back into the pack. We start seeing some progress being made from the 4th member of our championship 4. Here's Jason Willott, who's worked his way up to 7th. He's up 4 positions from where he qualified back in 11th. Currently on the outside here, trying to hold off an attack from Austin DeLong as he slides back in behind the back bumper of Christian Brian Hill. He is trying to sneak his way through, potentially looking to the outside here of the 085. Way up to the wall early. Not sure if that's the line he wanted to be running or just where he ended up, but he gets a great run down the backstretch. Will clear the 085. Drexel into P6 here, closing in not only on Garrett Vitton in 5th, but another one of those gold banners and Clint Halterman in 4th.
I was just going to say he has turned it on, and the typically conservative 76 car knows the role. The game is on here, and his race challenge right now is get up to the front there. You got to be with these guys, and he loves that high line, and he's going to try and put it to the outside of the Sun Devils right now. Is there room for the 76? There he goes, and that is the 42 dealt with. A little bit of sparks as that 76 car from Drexel grabs the wall, but that's going to be 5th position. Well, I say that is, a little bit too much of the wall right there, Alex, but that 76 car is flying right now.
Yeah, he's really getting that outside the work, but that's also the danger when you run the wall, is that you put yourself in harm's way a lot easier than if you were running down low. But as it currently stands, he's getting really good exits off of corners, really dropping in off the high banking there, and is really able to use it for a nice boost of speed down the backstretch here as we see him working on the outside of Garrett Vitton in the 42. That 76 from Drexel University really trying to find his way up to the front with the other Championship 3 cars, trying to get into the mix here, wanting to make sure he's as much of a statement at the end of this race as the rest of them are. As we look throughout the field a little bit here, it looks like Austin DeLong and Edward Sanchez having a pretty decent scrap there for the 9th position here. You see Sanchez in blue on the high side, DeLong in orange and white on the inside. He'll have to give up the position just for a moment here as Sanchez will take 9th. But I don't think that battle's over yet either, as there starts to be a mix of battles all over the field. Wallet and Christian Hill continuing the battle, as is Halterman trying to chase down Matthew Nordberg.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, we got a dirt car battle right here, and it's the reasons that we love these tracks, including up in the wall a little bit again. That wall kind of kicks out right there, so that's not what the 76 needed to do. He knows he can have some speed coming up off that banking, but you don't want to get too far up there. But I was going to say, Alex, that, a lot of lines going on right here. In fact, Baruch College defensive again, and you can see the 76 deciding that he's going to try his time on that bottom line.
Yeah, they're all going to take another opportunity here as they continue to make their way in the 1 and 2. It's Edward Sanchez and Austin DeLong as they battle. You see Matthew Morton as well slowly creeping into the picture behind him. The Ohio State driver has worked his way up from 14th to 10th. Now looking to the inside of DeLong for the 10th position, or the 9th position actually, as is Edward Sanchez right there with him. There's a 4-car pack here, 7th through 10th. A lot of positions potentially be gained and lost. Maybe some contact between the 76 and 26 there. Don't know if they touched bumpers, but that was a really close call off of 4.
That was a 76, did not need that right there. Another one of our on-board cameras is Jason Wallet, and that 76, Mr. Consistency, and you can see he is locked in, he's focused. Matthew Morton made the pass right there, and Ohio State, just trying to gather that car up, and it is not easy to get into these corners here at the older Legacy Atlanta track. It is very fun for us to watch, Alex, but it is a handful, and I think we can see that with Wallet right now. Oh, and with Baruch on the inside. Big wiggle from Baruch. They actually had to lift. That was Edward Sanchez, and there you have it. So right now, 9th position for Jason Wallet. He was up as high as 5th place, past the Arizona State machine of Garrett Vitton, but right now hanging out in 9th.
One of the things I really notice every time the 76 enters a quarter, you could see the hands kind of seesawing there for Wallet, trying to keep that car pointed without losing the back end of it. It's a really fine line, especially at a track like Atlanta, where if you hit it the right way, you can really carry a ton of speed through the corners, but you have to be active on the wheel. If you're really passive with it and don't try and adjust with the corner, it's just going to eat you alive. You could see all that wheel motion in the hands of the 76 there. He's, I think, just trying to settle in a little bit after a couple of early scrapes with the outside wall, trying to run that high line. He understands there's still a lot of race left to go and is trying to make sure he's there at the end to see the end of the race here. As the 85 with a bit of a wiggle here, the 13's going to fly right on by on the inside. He might take Austin DeLong with him. Matthew Morton up into the top 5 now with Austin DeLong up to 6 here. Christian Hill losing 2 positions in one corner with that wiggle off of 4.
Yeah, this track is focused so much on speed, precision. It's very easy, as you mentioned, even with the 76 car, to have one of those wiggles. And, once you do, you're very susceptible to everybody else, the cars behind you. So there you have it. Another one that you may have noticed on your scoring tower, the Wolfpack driver from North Carolina State, Matthew Nordberg, had a little bit of a run-in and slips down to that 8th position. So our timing tower, true, Alex, to Atlanta Motor Speedway, our timing tower doing a little bit of back and forth here this evening.
Yeah, it's certainly staying busy, whether it's trying to or not. One thing I have noticed here as we see this battle continue here with Christian Hill trying to work his way back up past Austin DeLong is that Andrew Williams got about a 3/10 advantage over Zach DeWale once he took the lead about 12 or so laps ago. That gap has not changed since. I mean, it's been a very static sort of gap there. So either it's good gap management from Williams or just he does not have the speed at the moment to really get away from the pack. But that has let everyone kind of settle in here through the field. The closest battle right now is Austin DeLong trying to pull in the back bumper of Matthew Morton here. The two of them really just flying through the lower half of the top 10 as they keep starting to make time on the top 4 cars. Right now, Matthew Morton still over a second back to Garrett Vitton, but on lap 20 here, we could potentially start seeing drivers think about what their pit strategy is going to look like here, Josh. If they are doing the 3-stop strategy, you'll start seeing them probably a little after lap 30 if they're trying to chunk this up into 3 equal-sized stops. And it could begin here relatively soon, which makes you wonder, do you take the undercut, do you take the overcut? Do you even bother with the 3-stop strategy? Do you think you have the fuel to make it work on a 2-stopper? There's so many questions and not nearly enough answers at this stage of the race.
And that's got to be the best part of some of these races. The Gen 4 car has really brought that to us at some of these tracks. And good on the directors of the oval side here to put the right car and the right track together. Has been a very fun summer. I think most of these drivers would agree in the community and in the Discord during the week. And that is to say that, yes, there's going to be a lot that they have to consider. Will there be a yellow flag? We've seen a lot of wiggles from these cars, and they will only become more frequent, Alex, as we get to that middle part of the run, that 30 laps on these tires. 20 laps right now is no small number. I mean, these drivers are starting to certainly feel it, but the longer we go green, we're going to have 30, 40, 50 laps on these tires, and Yeah, I think that's the point, as we see VCU and Cody Fadenauer put a move on the 86 there, and that is Timothy Wilms to 12th, and that is 11th place for Cody Fadenauer and the VCU Rams coming back for this part of the Gen 4 season. And yeah, Alex, I think that the strategy here is going to be highly dependent. Oh, big wiggle! We say we're talking about the yellow flags. We can't jinx it though. That is going to be, yeah, that is not what you need.
Broken on that car potentially. He was really trying to force it through the corner. You really see that left front tire, but he's having a tough time right now. I think he might be trying to get down toward the apron to bring it down pit road, but I was just about to say, it's great to see Cody back after some time away here for the summer, but right now, Atlanta Motor Speedway not happy with his return, and they made it pay with a really heavy contact there going through the tri-oval. He's dropped from 11th down to 13th now, and that car is certainly worse for wear.
Yeah, that definitely going to have some toe problems on that car, and we caught up with him trying to get it down the front stretch. All these cars will have their wheels turned a little bit, but I assume that the toe in that car would be not as anticipated. Yeah, he's doing a lot right now with the wheel. In fact, you'd probably have a little bit more left into it right now. Yeah, that car is not very happy at all up on corner exit. So that's Cody Fadenauer in VCU. We talked about him putting a really nice move on some of these drivers, but I think that is going to be waiting for the next pit stop is what we would call that.
Yeah, that's one of those ones you just try and hold on to it. As now you see Matthew Nordberg to the inside of Hill. This is the battle for 7th. Nordberg in that 076 for NC State on the inside here, not going away just yet. Mount St. Mary's Christian Hill on the outside. A battle of a couple of alums here as they go into one. The 085 of Hill trying to run that middle line through the corner. Gets a little bit of a wiggle, but not too detrimental here. He'll remain ahead of Nordberg as they dive into 3. A bit of a harder entry for the 085 might mean that Nordberg could get a better exit if he rounds the corner better. We'll have to see as they come off of 4 here. It looks like the 085 got a pretty good exit, so a little bit of separation between the two for now, but that might not last for long.
Yeah, that that's very interesting to see. As I don't know if Nordberg is trying to be as aggressive, or maybe Nordberg's trying to make that 2-race stop and really trying to beat everybody on tire degradation and fuel and be there at the end. But we know that Christian Hill, a staple of the roadside as well. Sometimes he sneaks into these oval races and is generally top 15, top 10. Alex, Christian Hill and Mount St. Mary's pretty quick in any car. But right now, looking to the inside is Matthew Morton at 13. He's trying to get under the Sun Devils there of Garrett Vighton. He's trying to get the job done on the inside, but not quite yet. But that's going to be a very full mirror there for the 42 of Vighton.
Yeah, and right now, Matthew Morton's charge to the front continues. He rolled off 14th. He made easy work of the back half of the field, then progress kind of stalled out once he hit around the 5th, 6th spot. Needed some time to reel in Garrett Fitton, who's currently running 4th and now has reached the back bumper. But right now it's a matter maybe of how much tire is left on both of these cars. As you see the 13 once again looking to the inside, far too distant to make an opportunity to pass right there, but could have another chance here going through 3 and 4, as it looks like the 804 might have brought it down pit lane finally. Trying to repair some of that damage, and maybe he's going to take that the 3-stop approach here. Is back up toward the front. A good battle for second here. Zach DeWale and Clint Halterman, 2 of our Championship 4 drivers. This could be a really critical battle.
Yeah, it could be critical, and I don't know the strategy that these drivers are on right now. Normally we see Halterman and Williams trying to duke it out. That's the Clemson and Niner Esports team there, North Carolina at Charlotte. But right now, that Charlotte group is trying to get a hold of the 0-2. Oh, wiggle from the 0-2. Is it an opportunity there for the 49er as Clint Halterman looks to the inside? He's got a nose. I don't know, Alex, if I want to be on the bottom in this exchange, but you can see right there, yeah, not as much grip right there. Probably no grip for either of those drivers, but you'd love to be on the outside right there. And going down the backstretch, who has the advantage? It looks like it might be the 0-2. And Zach DeWale by a nose.
Yeah, but that advantage might not hold on for long here if the 07 can pull alongside through the corner. However, it does not look like that was the case, so DeWale is going to close the door here as they hit the stripe for lap 32. Able to retain second for the moment, but that battle certainly not over, nor is this one just behind him. Garrett Vitten still trying to hold off Matthew Morton for fourth. This battle's been going on for the better part of 4 or 5 laps now, as you see Halterman way swinging to the inside there as they made their way down the backstretch, looking to the inside of Zach DeWale up ahead. They're side by side. Right now, that 07 once again trying to get the low line to work, comes up out of 4. They will be side by side going to the stripe. Zach DeWale, who you can see on your screen there, holding on to the position just by a little bit, but this is certainly a fierce battle, and at the rate they're going here, I don't know if either of them were thinking the 3-stop strategy, because they're not really helping each other out do that if that was the case.
No, they are not, but they are really going for it right here. And I mean, you'd assume that all the leaders would be on the same strategy, knowing, whatever the best play was, predicting the cautions and so on. But yeah, eventually they're going to need to catch that Clemson car up front, and this is not going to help them do that. But there's not much else to do, Alex. If you are battling for the championship, as these two are, you'll need to really be familiar with the competition and get the job done. So, yeah, that's going to be pretty tricky.
Yeah, and as this battle has persisted, it has allowed Andrew Williams to keep pulling away just a little bit. That Clemson machine up to 1.7 seconds ahead. He was only about 1 second ahead once that battle began, so he's really taking advantage of the fact that these two have been battling so fiercely to get a little bit of a buffer, and especially with their, it looks like all of them might be going with the 2-stop strategy here, going to be really critical. They get as big a gap as you can, gives you that much more time on pit road and that much more of a gap in case something were to go wrong. And now the 07 with a little bit of a slide job up in front of the 02. Halterman up to second here if he can make it stick off of 4. They've switched roles. Now it's UNC on the outside, and now it is St. Clair College on the inside. Can UNC Charlotte hold it here through 1 and 2, or will Zach DeWale return the favor with a slide job of his own? He had a nose ahead through 1 and 2, coming back up the track, but they will be side by side. The 02 with a little bit of a wiggle, and that's going to allow Halterman to keep surging past on the outside. We've got a great battle going on for second right now.
The battle is awesome right here. These two drivers using the whole racetrack. You can see that driver on the outside with a little bit better drive off the corner. These guys dreaming of tires right now, and not sure yet if they are thinking 2 or 3 stop strategy, but if they are thinking 3, I mean, that's coming up here as we get to lap 40 here or so. So something for these drivers to think about. You could hear DeWale and St. Clair College just trying to pedal that car off the corner, just so patient to get back on the gas, and that's what you have to do, Alex. I remember we had a dirt modified race when I was doing that, and when the track was very, very slick. I don't even know if we had the smaller engine in the car, so we were down on power on purpose, and I still don't know if we went over about 70% throttle, and that's what these drivers are having to do right now. The track is low on grip, the tires are low on grip, and they have to be so careful. And there's the run. DeWale to the inside. He's got to move to the inside. And can he get a nose? He's got the nose, but I don't know that he's got anything on the low side right now for Halterman.
It's certainly a tough call. Sorry to interrupt there, but the 02 got a monster run going down the backstretch as he lunged it into 3. Wasn't enough to make it stick, but that battle for second not over yet, as all of this is letting Garrett Vitten and Matthew Morton start to close in as well. Looks like Morton has finally gotten around the 42 with a bit of a slide job off the corner. As we also see the lapped car of Cody Fadenhauer into the mix as well. And this is what fresh tires can do for you, even with a damaged car. The 07's in the wall.
The 07 up in the wall right there, and I don't know. I don't think the 804 did anything too exciting. But yeah, for whatever reason, the 07 up in the wall, and maybe these cars are starting to get tight. I can see that new tires are apparently in style. But yeah, there you have it, and you did mention it just off camera. Matthew Morton and the Ohio State Buckeyes, they get around the Sun Devils right there for the 4th position in this one. So up to this point, Alex, it's been the top 3 with golden banners, but that may change here coming up. And in fact, it looks like The first Colton Banner is down on pit lane and sideways.
Spinning!
That's not part of the plan. The 0-2 around, but he doesn't actually go around, so we stay green. He's able to keep that car pointed forward. That could have been a lot worse if he had done a full 180 right there. Still not the optimal entrance to pit road, but when we get cycled around here, Alex, we should really check out the gap from DeWail to the leader.
I also wonder if he came in too hot. Was he speeding on pit entry? I don't know if he was, but he came in with a full head of steam. He's lucky the car didn't get turned around on him. But I don't know. I'm curious to see if there was any speeding penalties there as well, because a speeding penalty at this point in the race, if there's not a caution, could all but sink his title chances. As we see, Timothy Williams was also on pit lane there. But right now, Andrew Williams, 2.4 seconds ahead of UNC Charlotte and Clint Halterman here. He's got a bit of a gap. I wonder when he pulls the trigger on potentially coming down pit road. The fuel window for these cars is about 45 laps if they run it at full open, without any sort of thoughts of fuel save. And the ideal stopping point for a two-stop strategy is about lap 45. So he honestly might be thinking about trying to save a little bit of fuel here, potentially if he's trying to make sure he hits that number, or unless he already has and now he's going all out until he has to come down pit road. A lot of questions there, but Matthew Morton all over the back bumper of Clint Halterman now. Here comes the 13 from Ohio State looking to make some noise.
Yeah, the Buckeyes have arrived and, made a march early on, hung out for 10 laps or so, and then marched forward again. Here he is having moved past one. That was DeWail on pit road, but right now he's looking at Halterman right now. These drivers on the same tires, so wild pace right now from the 13, but he's out. He's getting the job done, and when does he put the move on? Also, notable back in the back, it is not drab at all. Nick Stockner, Christian Hill having a little battle of their own, and Andrew Burrell behind them as well. In front of them as well. But here it is. The 13 is going to look low this time by the 07 on the outside. And what is the move right here? Is there drive off for the 13? I don't know if he's got it quite yet, but looking good right there. Side by side, it looks like the pass is completed. Getting it done on the inside, Alex.
Yeah, he made it work there going down the backstretch. Halterman looked to repay the favor going into 3, but did not have the momentum. Morton now up into P2 as Halterman and Vitton bring it down pit road this time. The 07 looks like they got a clean entry in the pit road, so that will be a huge bump in time, I'd imagine, once it's all said and done from Zach DeWail. But because DeWail came in a couple laps earlier than the rest of them, a few laps on fresh tires will ease a lot of the sorrows of that rough pit entrance. And he might honestly still be in good shape positionally once they come off pit road. It looks like Edward Sanchez in the 26 for Baruch College also bringing it down pit road here, as is Andrew Williams and Matthew Morton. The leaders are in here on lap 46, Josh.
Yeah, here we go. The leaders are in, and the race is now on. St. Clair College is going to try, and Zach DeWail is going to do his best to make his way around pit road. You can see right now still on the lead lap. So everybody here with an opportunity, but we'll see how it goes. Everybody hitting their pit stop just right. Full service for these cars. I'm really waiting for that left side of the 42 to drop. Baruch is off right now. I expect that 42 to take off anytime. In fact, Garrett must be hanging out there because that 23 has done his whole stop, and there he goes. Williams is away. Clemson is away. New leader, St. Clair College, and Clemson finds themselves 4 seconds back, and Ohio State University just behind.
Yeah, that gap will only continue to grow too, as this is the outlap right now for Clemson and for Ohio State. As you see, 1 lap older tires, UNC Charlotte flies past Andrew Williams here. So the undercut really working right now for Zach DeWail. However, if this remains green, they're going to keep reeling them in little by little every lap as those tires start to wear down. But right now, a great recovery from Zach DeWail. The idea of pitting a little bit early really working out in his favor, at least for the moment positionally. But that does raise some question marks about fuel to the end if this stays green, with the estimated fuel thing being loosely 45 laps, give or take a few. He came in 6 laps earlier than Drew Williams, 5 laps earlier than Clint Halterman. Wonder how that'll shape up if this goes green the rest of the way. Will this early stop potentially influence when he has to stop later on, and will it be in a disadvantageous position?
Yeah, you don't know, and we'll look out. But right there, you have Drew Williams. He's trying to get around. Some of those last lap times looks like these drivers who have not pitted were in the 33s or 35s. So new tires here in Atlanta, about 1.5 seconds, maybe 1.8 or so. So yeah, a couple of laps ahead for Zach DeWale, and that would just about explain the gap right there, up ahead to that driver. But it's on right now, and I'll tell you what, Clint Halterman is under fire. He's got a golden banner and Matthew Morton in his mirror. Outside, there goes the 23, and that looks very straightforward from Drew Williams and Clemson University.
And that is only 1 lap fresher tires, but I guess that was 1 lap fresh enough as Drew Williams made that one look easy. Clemson rolls past Clint Halterman here. He's back in the second. About 7 seconds in closing to the back bumper of St. Clair College and Zach DeWale. Now Matthew Morton squaring up off the back bumper of Clint Halterman here. That's the battle for third, but if Williams got around that easily, I'm not sure how much of a battle for third it will be. We'll see Matthew Morton try and make his move here, looking to the inside, coming off of turn 2. Gets a really good run down the backstretch. They could be side by side going into the corner. Nope, Matthew Morton really launches it in. He'll take the position away. Ohio State up to third.
Don't always get to say late on the brakes in these oval events, but that seemed to be the case right there. Just using up a little bit more car, getting the position, and it's setting sail forward. There you have it. A little bit further on down the pack, we can see 7th position is not a bad spot to be if you're a Drexel University fan right now. The 76 car is trying to get that sorted out. I don't know, Alex, if he's got the pace of some of our front runners, but we know that consistency and cleanliness has been the hallmark of Drexel and of the 76 all season long. So that will be very helpful in this battle to get up front.
Yeah, and also we know that when the time comes, he's not afraid to really send it on short distance situations. Example being green-white checkered. So if this race comes down to a late restart, that's where he flips the switch from being a pretty not necessarily conservative, but a pretty consistent driver to a pretty aggressive driver. But we'll have to keep an eye on that as he currently runs in the 7th position. Not a bad running order from where he qualified in 11th, but not going to be able to be enough in his championship hopes if this result holds. As we see now, Nick Stockner, who had that early spin trying to come back against the 804 of Cody Fadenhauer, looks to the inside here, takes away the 10th position. And after that bit of an incident on lap 1, looks like the driver of the 124 starting the rebound a little bit here as he finds his way back inside the top 10.
Yeah, Stockner moving forward and does break into the top 10 right there with that move past Fadenhauer there. So that is Clemson past Virginia Commonwealth, and that is the top 10 right there. Actually chasing down his Clemson teammate in 9th position. That is Andrew Burrell, who is hanging out there for the time being. And Burrell in that distinctive car as well. So a couple of these drivers getting sorted out, and yeah, you can see, I think the big thing on the ticker right now is North Carolina State. So there are 4 drivers, Alex, that have just checked out, and back in 5th position here, excuse me, is North Carolina State leading Austin DeLong.
Yeah, and if you're lucky if you're a part of the championship 4. Just 3/4 of you are a part of that breakaway pack before it goes back to DeLong or to Nordberg in 5th. But as I'm looking at it, when we finished the pit cycle, the gap from Williams to DeWale was over 7 seconds. They've cut that down to less than 2.5 now. They are really starting to close up on the back bumper of the whale. Even though St. Clair College has only got about 6 laps older tires, every lap they have been losing close to like half a second a lap. And here on lap 57, it's about to sink below 2 seconds here.
Yeah, you know, that seems to be the case. These drivers are going to go through phases of the race. And by the way, this race is flying right now, coming up on lap 60 of 130, so not quite halfway, but I think we have been 100% green in this race, Alex.
That we have. The closest thing we would have had to a caution was the lap, I guess the lap 0 spin, the starting point of the race where Stockner hit the infield, but there was no caution thrown, and then DeWale almost maybe brought out one with getting a little loose on pit road, but he was able to recover nicely. And I think that lost time on pit road is starting to come back to haunt the O2 here. Is Andrew Williams now only 1.2 seconds back of the lead. And how many more seconds would he have to work with had he not almost spun out on the entrance of pit road? We might not know, but you can see the gap at the bottom of your screen. It's starting to plateau a little bit, but not nearly fast enough for the O2, as Andrew Williams chopping off over half a second a lap here over the past few.
I was going to say, we talk about new tires or new tires versus 40-lap old tires that we've seen. We're talking about a 1.5 second gap. Well, a third of that is just in the pace, whatever that 23 is having. He's had his Wheaties, he's had his Gatorade, whatever you would like to do. So, yeah, Drew Williams is running pretty typical times with Matthew Morton, but those two drivers are rapidly chasing down DeWale. So that's going to be pretty exciting here. We're going to have a festival on our hands coming up.
Absolutely. This is the battle for the lead, and right now the battle for the provisional championship position. As Andrew Williams closing in, you see a little bit of a wiggle there from the O2. Here comes Williams on the back bumper of DeWale. On lap 62 here, the battle is on once again for the lead. Here goes the 23 down to the white line. He's going to look to the inside of DeWale as they go through 1 and 2. Nothing going just yet through the middle of the corner, but a wiggle by the O2 coming off the exit of the corner lets Andrew Williams stay right there. They are side by side going into 3 and 4. Lunging forward as Williams, he'll take the position away. Andrew Williams back to the lead here at Atlanta.
Back to the lead, and don't lean back just yet, because Ohio State has arrived on the scene. He has driven that car up front, and man, that is a three-way battle that is on right here. Zach DeWale, meantime, in the middle, has got to find a way to keep that pace. Even if he just wants to keep pace with these drivers, he's got to focus and see what they're doing that he is not, because that's going to be critical as we get to the mid part and finally into the final stages of this race.
Yeah, and you see him on his screen there. This is while he's battling Matthew Morton. This is the battle for second here. Looks like Morton will win that one with relative ease on the fresher tires. And now he has Zach DeWale has an opportunity to settle in just for a split second before the 07 of Clint Halterman will likely reach his back bumper. But right now, if you're Drew Williams, you're in really good position for the championship sake of things, being almost a second ahead of your next gold bannered opponent. But for the sake of the race win, that is still very much in jeopardy, because that 13 keeps getting a little bit bigger in the rearview mirror.
That 13 is on a mission right now, and he's going to try and make a move here coming up. That would be a battle for the lead. Battle going on. Drexel and VCU continue to try and battle, and I think right now, Alex, that VCU is not having any help from that knocked out toe, that front end alignment that they suffered earlier as we watched them. But yeah, right now Andrew Williams has some defense to play with the 13 car. Matthew Morton looks to the high side, and Williams goes up to defend. So Clemson has chosen the high side here, running the wall at Atlanta. It's our national pastime here. But down at the bottom, the Buckeyes are going to make the bottom groove work. Bumper to bumper, they go out of turn 2.
Yeah, side by side, the 23 of Andrew Williams to the outside, the 13 of Matthew Morton to the inside. Morton settles back in just behind for a moment. We'll try and get another run here through 3 and 4. It looks like Clemson will take a line about one groove off from the bottom. Morton ran the white line that time around, and we might get a repeat here of the lines going in the 1 and 2. Looks like Andrew Williams once again looking to run a higher line through 1 and 2. Morton going to match him this time through 1 and 2, running a little higher off the white line than he did a lap ago. And right now, there's a whole lot of mirror driving, I think, happening behind the wheel of the 23 right now, trying to do whatever he can to keep the 13 behind him. And while they continue to run nose to tail, it's going to let them extend that lead a little bit over Zach DeWale. Just the moment the 13 will get alongside him, that might slow him down. But right now, they are a streamlined little duo as they roar down through the tri-oval. Back in the turn one they go. Andrew Williams holding on to a slim lead over Matthew Morton.
I cannot wait to talk to one or both of these drivers at the end of the night, because they are doing something that is very effectively saving their tire there at the end. And I think that is why those two can drive away so much as we get deeper in the run. Williams and Clemson and Ohio State with Morton behind the wheel, they have the ability to go ahead and run. Now on the outside are the Buckeyes. They've made a space up there, saving those right rear tires. They're able to drive like that. Very close right there. And the 13, that might have stalled the 13 a little bit. And, very cheeky there from the 23. And we do know, Alex, that these two came together in the exit of turn 2 at Homestead last Monday night. So both of them may be thinking about that. And Morton, knowing that Williams is not afraid to get a little bit physical if he needs to. Don't know that it was super intentional last week from Williams, but the result still stands.
Yeah, I don't know if it was necessarily intentional, but it definitely happened. There was contact there, and if I'm the 23, I mean, that's a gutsy move to retain the lead of this race, and obviously you want to be the winner here, but for the sake of the championship, I almost wonder if you got to be a little careful how hard you race the 13 here, because, I mean, you did more or less kind of wrong a week ago, at least in the eyes of the 13. So you really got to be careful here that there's no chance of, maybe the 13 running you a little too tough back in the exit of one of these corners, like the incident from a week ago here. But this battle has really taken us all over the lanes of the track, both in the corners and on the straightaways here. The 13 once again to the outside here. That is the place I think he's going to be able to get this pass to work if he's able to do so. He's alongside the 23 here, could get a really good run off the exit. Let's see if he's able to complete this pass.
Yeah, that looks like it might be a winner right there, down into the corner. I think that's the position of the 13, and I'm not sure what the 23 was doing so out of position on the backstretch last lap. I know there was a lap car joining, didn't look like anything was exciting there, and but gave a very wide berth. Unless he was just conceding the position, was the 23, which to your point,
and the caution's out.
A wise move. The caution is out. The caution is out, and Christian Hill is around. That is Mount St. Mary's in the 083, and man, that is going to modify our night a little bit. Christian Hill was actually in the pits for about 5 laps or so. So that car, probably very similar to the VCU car in that it is not very happy. And now, neither will that driver be.
Yeah, let's take a look here. He was on, I think, fresher tires. That's how you see him really roaring past the 888, and just two cars that found each other on track. That's a tough situation, I guess, when you're expecting your opposing car to go up closer toward the wall, but they take a bit of a shallower exit there, and they kind of met in the middle.
That's exactly what happened right there. Yeah, the 888 off the corner a little bit, and not what you want if you are one of those drivers. But it looks like it is all on pit road now, and these drivers are getting ready to go down pit road. They will come down, get full service on these race cars, and this is going to change us up. So we know that about all these cars have taken one set of tires, Alex. And is it too far? No, it is not too far for the 13. He will get that right side jacked up, and then Zach DeWale will take advantage of that pole position pit box.
I think Zach DeWale's the biggest winner in all of this. He was the most, not off cycle, but the one whose current pit situation was the most in question if that stayed green. Now he's back on the same cycle as everyone else, so even though he will come back on track 4th there behind Clint Halterman, it puts him back on cycle with the rest of them there. So once again, it'll be equal equipment on equal equipment here, as we see the 77 maybe taking a bit of a longer time on pit road here, wondering if everything's okay with the 76 there for Drexel, because Wallet has had an extended stop.
That is an extended stop that driver is trying to get going, but was moving in here because we do have our student pitch tonight with driver Jason Wallet.
Hello, I'm Jason Walla. I'm a mechanical engineering major in the third year of a 5-year BSMS program at Drexel University. Outside school, my interests include racing, reading, gaming, BattleBots, swimming, and biking. I've done co-ops for the OPEX Corporation and Lockheed Martin, both of which were 6 months each. And on campus, I'm involved in Drexel Esports, Formula SAE, Drexel's Chess Club, Model UN, Rascal, which is associated with NASA, and Dragon Robotics, where I'm working on building a 3-pound combat robot to compete in a competition in Norwalk, Connecticut in late September. After I graduate, I hope to begin my career in any of a number of fields, like robotics, automotive, aerospace, defense, or race engineering. I'd also be a vital asset to any company due to my wide array of experiences and skills.
That was Jason Wallet there with Drexel Esports, Drexel University. And yeah, that was a little bit of an extended stop right there, but getting ready to put that Drexel Esports machine moving forward. He's going to have a pretty good opportunity to do so here now that he is got fresh tires and the pack for the first time tonight. Alex, all bunched up.
Yeah, first time since the opening start of the race, and the last time we had everyone grouped up, and ended with Nick Stockner rolling through the infield grass. So we'll see if they've got it all figured out on the next restart here. I don't think we had any real takers for the 3-stop strategy, but it worked out really well in their favor if it did, with the way this caution has fallen. But as things start to get grouped up and ready to go, because you see a couple of cars taking the wave around there, it'll be Matthew Morton in Ohio State, who's charged up from 14th to 1st tonight on the inside. Outside of him, it is Andrew Williams for Clemson, the leading car of the Championship 4 right now, but he's got 2 of his competitors in Clint Halterman and Zach DeWale breathing down the back of his neck right now. Row 3, it is Nordberg and DeLong, and then Sanchez and Willott are currently running 7 and 8. So even with the extended stop, the 76 really not too far out of position from the rest of this Championship 4 if he's able to gain a couple of positions early on. You see the 124, I think, having to wait for a few cars to catch up here. You see the 085 roaring down the backstretch, as is the 804. But as they all kind of get settled and ready to go, it'll be time once again to go racing at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Basically 70 laps green through the opening stint. 70 laps green would take us to the end of this race if it happened again. Lights are off on the pace car, and it will peel down pit road for only the second time here this evening from Atlanta. Green flag back in the air. The 13 roars off the line. We are racing once again at Atlanta Motor Speedway.
There we go, and they will all shoot down. Don't see any excitement there just yet, so everybody managing the wheel spin. New tires will help with that, but it is all on right here for the Golden Banners. This is the race for the championship. Bit of a wiggle from the 0-2. That is DeWale. He's got to get that car sorted out, and in the meantime, the 23 takes the lead of the championship runners squarely, and now we get to see the show we've seen all season long. The 23, the 07, Clemson's Drew Williams, and North Carolina at Charlotte's Clint Halterman. That driver gets to battle, but not before a little bit of defense, Alex.
Yeah, here comes Zach DeWale to the inside of Clint Halterman. Halterman running that middle lane, trying to hold on to third here. He can't afford to let Williams get too far away from him like they did on the opening start of the race. But it's going to be really hard to track down the 23 when Zach DeWale is taking up so much of the back bumper here. That blue and black St. Clair College car really big in the mirror right now, all over the back bumper here as they make their way through the tri-oval. DeWale might be looking to the inside here of the 07. The 07 has to chop him off, trying to play a bit of defense here, and that will continue to keep the two of them a bit behind Andrew Williams. Now Matthew Nordberg maybe looking to the inside of Zach DeWale here. NC State looking to the inside, trying to make a pass for fourth. And Jason Wallet has worked his way up to sixth here. This is the closest he's been all night to the pack ahead of him, at least as far as time on track. So a huge opportunity for Drexel here to reinsert themselves into the mix of the Championship 4.
Yeah, and I don't see any damage on that 76, so whether it was something else or whether he was actually getting that car cleaned up at the pit stop, he hardly lost any positions. That seemed to be the right move, but here we go. Drexel's going to try and make a move on the Wolfpack right here, and North Carolina State will be in a little gold banner sandwich here, and so they will have to use a little bit of discretion, but the 76 is marching forward at this point, but up front, this battle is not cooling down. The 23, I'll tell you what, he really wants to get the win, both trophies, the championship here and the race.
Yeah, I mean, who wouldn't? I mean, it definitely means a lot more when you're able to claim both and claim the championship by saying you won the race, so you win the championship. It's obviously, if you win the championship but don't win the race, you're still happy to have won the championship. But winning the race really adds that exclamation point on not only the event but the season as a whole. As we saw Andrew Williams get around Matthew Morton on the outside, Clemson back to the lead here on lap 81. Williams has taken the lead. It's his third time up front here today. Matthew Morton now going to sit in the on the back bumper waiting for his opportunity to try and strike back. And they really haven't created a ton of separation from the cars behind here, and everyone kind of holding their running order from a couple laps ago. Everyone kind of bobbing and weaving looking for their opportunity, but right now not a ton to be taken as everyone kind of just on the back bumper of each other waiting to strike.
Yeah, and that's what you have. Look at these lines opening up. DeWale trying to get a run off the corner. He's got a bumper on the outside of North Carolina at Charlotte. Bumper to bumper. They go down in the corner. He'll get a little bit longer run, and he'll need that to make the longer distance around the outside. DeWale is going to have the pace off the corner if he can keep it square. Patient back on the throttle, and that will be position sold. P3 is now the 0-2 of St. Clair College and Zach DeWale.
Yeah, Zach DeWale claims third place here. He's putting together a pretty good run here, rebounding after that little bit of a pit lane incident a while back. Back up the third here, going to try and chase down Andrew Williams. Has his work cut out for him, though. He's about 6/10 behind, but he is starting to maybe put a bit of a dent into it. It's hard to tell with the fluctuations of the corners, but Matthew Morton has not gone away from Andrew Williams. The 13, about as big as a car can be in the rearview mirror for Williams right now.
That is exactly true, and it is said mirror driving earlier. I think that's what these drivers, at least Williams, is on right now. He's got 83 laps down. It'll be 84 done when he comes across the line this time. So getting into the final stages of this one, and he's just you mentioned it before, and I'll say it again. He's just got to make sure that he doesn't play outside of his game here, and whether he wants to win the race or not, he's got to keep himself in this position for the championship. He doesn't need to be a super aggressive blocker.
Yeah, but also at some points the competitive spirit just takes over, and you do what you can to win. It's that striking that balance between wanting to win and knowing what you need to win the overall grand prize per se. So it's a tough battle to balance, especially in the moment there, as that was almost a close call between the two. But Matthew Morton, I think, may have had to check up just a hair to make sure there wasn't any contact with the 23. And now he'll look to the outside of Clemson this time around. Files back in, looking to dig to the inside here on the backstretch. A bit of a different line than the 23. Here comes Morton on the inside. He's got a nose to the corner. Now they're going to be side by side, even though they're 2 lanes apart here. Morton maybe with a nose ahead coming off the corner, side by side coming through the tri-oval. Matthew Morton not able to claim that lead, did not lead that lap. That was still in the hands of Andrew Williams here, but the 13 has not gone away. He is running right on that white line there, just above the apron, but a rough exit there for the 13 means the 23 will be able to reclaim the lead, at least for the moment, and Andrew Williams hanging on by the slimmest of margins right now.
Yeah, that's totally what is going on, and you can see that 23 car is playing it pretty well. He's putting the car in pretty difficult positions for Morton to get around. Morton here going to look to the outside one more time. Nothing doing there. Going to roll into the throttle again. Very careful to do so, and that's going to be the theme of these drivers. And in the wall is the 23, and there they go. That's going to be that sorted, I think, Alex.
Yeah, not only is that going to be that sorted, if you're Andrew Williams, you got to get back on your horse in a hurry because that has just cut the gap back to the other two gold banner cars behind you in half. Here comes Zach DeWale and Clint Halterman. The gap now less than 4/10 between the 02 and the 23 when it was over 8/10 a lap ago. So no time to get complacent if you're the 23. There's still plenty of work to be done and still a couple of really hungry drivers behind you.
Yeah, that's definitely the case. And you talk about hunger. Austin DeLong is trying to get under the Wolfpack machine. North Carolina State right there. He's going to get underneath and make a little move. Looks like he's going to have a pretty good look off the corner. I don't know who's got the momentum. It looks like everybody's pretty dead even. And so I think that'll be the 22 car with the position into the corner. And suddenly Austin DeLong finds himself in a little top 5 run. But Matthew Nordberg not done yet.
Yeah, those two really battling pretty fiercely here for the 5th position. Neither of them, battling for the championship, but when you're still in an opportunity to put together a really good run, you're going to try and take it. And both of these cars could really use one. They've been long-time members of the league, both series vets here. Always good to see them back in competition, especially when they're putting on quite the show like they are right now. But speaking of shows, it looks like the 02 might be getting a little bit closer there, Josh. He's cut off another 10th or so. It looks like that gap reopened off at 2, actually, as I was saying it. But he's certainly starting to look a little bit there. But Matthew Morton, now that he's gotten around Andrew Williams, he's all but gone.
Yeah, and that's a little bit telling right there. Ohio State University, we can't forget that they had the pace to drive from the rear of this field up through the front. And so, yeah, a tough battle for the lead, but can't say we're surprised. This 1.5 mile Atlanta track in these cars seems to have really come to them. But here in 2nd position, this is your championship leader, the 23 car, and just about 20 feet behind him is St. Clair College, and the driver of that machine is Zach DeWale. Finally, just a little bit further, Clint Halterman is in this fight just as fairly. North Carolina at Charlotte driver in that 07 car has actually, Alex, we've seen the return of, we'll call it, the proper Niner Esports livery on that Gen 4 Chevrolet right there. And Drew Williams low again. I don't know if that's a strategy or he's just chasing that car down the racetrack.
If it's a strategy, I'll be honest, I think he should abandon it. It does not seem to be working, so it makes me think it might be unintentional. He has to chase that car coming off of 2. That gave DeWale and Halterman another second here, and now it's only a 2 car length, make it maybe 1.5 car length gap back to Zach DeWale here. He's now maybe looking to the outside coming off of 2, at least trying to get a little bit of clean air on the front of that car. There is not much of a gap here between the 23 and the 02, and after the early pit road struggles, it could be Zach DeWale in the potential seat of glory, looking to win his first ever Garage Shop College Cup Series championship here. But obviously Andrew Williams also looking for his first one. He's not going to give that position up if he has anything to say about it. And I mean, not to mention Clint Halterman here, if he's able to watch this battle unfold in front of him, it could help him close up to the back bumper of these 2 cars as well. And then we'd have a 3-horse race all looking for this potential championship as we are nearing the end of this race. I would say less than 40 laps to go at this point.
Less than 40 laps to go is correct, but we do know that that's our pit window. So the margin for error, Alex, is 0 right now for these drivers, but the opportunity is still there. We already saw a little bit of excitement for 0-2. Actually, I say that in pit lane now. Garrett Biden from Arizona State University. And yeah, these drivers are going to have to make sure that they are flawless onto pit road, whether it's a caution stop or whether it's under green flag conditions, all the more being precise on pit road, not spinning the wheels, getting out of their box. Look at the gap, Alex. Every 10th of a second matters. Getting in your box, don't overrun it, don't lock your tires, don't spin your tires too much, getting off pit road. It's all there for these drivers.
It really is, and with the last caution and a lot of them coming down pit road around like lap 75 or so, lap 73-ish, if you were to cut this stage in half, you would have to bring it down pit road a little after lap 100 to cut the last chunk of this race in half. You do not have enough fuel to make it without pitting, so everyone will be in, as we saw with Witten a moment ago. It's just a matter of when you pull the trigger and bring it down pit road. And the strategy part of this might be what makes or breaks it. As the 076 hard into the wall, Matthew Nordberg clobbered the outside wall going through the tri-oval. He'll lose out not only that battle with DeLong, but Jason Willott will fly right on past him as well, reclaiming the 6th position. Shocked that Nordberg was able to keep that car facing forward. I mean, he absolutely hammered the right side of his car into the wall. But we stay green, which means the looming strategy battle up in front between Williams, DeWail, and Halterman continues to formulate in the mind of those 3 drivers. And I think if anyone was hoping for a caution there, it might have honestly been Jason Willott. Would have had an opportunity for him to regroup back to the lead pack here and give it another go.
Yeah, Jason Willott would have loved that, but that would have been pretty tricky because here was the view for Jason as he tried to come up off the corner. You saw the 76 right in front of him. That is not what he needed. In the wall hard. Actually, a little bit in the wall as well for Willott, just trying to avoid calamity, but it looked like he did, in fact, get the job done right there. So everybody playing nicely so far, still in the race, and now up to 6th position is Wallet. But right now, Drew Williams, Zach DeWail, Clint Halterman is still your championship top 3, and these drivers are trying to get it all sorted up front now. Pesky lap traffic, but I think that lap car has new tires, so reverse lap traffic, if you will. The lap traffic and new tires are going to make this extra exciting.
Yeah, it absolutely is. And as they are making their way down, less than 35 laps to go at this point, you know, you see what fresh tires can do for you as Williams drives away from this lead pack here. And all 3 of those guys, Williams, DeWail, and Halterman, you've got to be wondering, okay, we know fresh tires at this point will make a huge difference, but I'm sure all 3 of them have in mind what happened when DeWail pit only 5 or 6 laps earlier than them on the first pit cycle and got absolutely blown past us. Here comes Andrew Williams down pit road now. All right, I guess the pit cycle's on. Here we go.
It is on right now. Saw a little bit of a lockup right there, but hopefully not a speeding penalty. So here comes the 23 down pit road. That service will get underway. Your leader right now for the championship is Zach DeWail. Of course, a little bit up the road, we can't forget that Ohio State continues to have this one in hand. But coming out of turn 4, well, I say that no, down pit road for the 13, and Zach DeWail is down pit road. Everybody locks up under this instance, and suddenly Austin DeLong. So Clint Halterman is going to make this run, and does he trap these other drivers a lap down? I think that yes, because Drew Williams will be exiting now, and I think that it will be behind this North Carolina at Charlotte driver. In fact, you can see there at the top of your screen.
It almost makes you wonder if Halterman has decided that at this point you run it until you can't run it anymore. He had decent pace so far tonight, but maybe not the race-winning pace and the championship-winning pace that he would have needed. He always seemed just to be a couple tenths off from where he needed, so maybe this is the new strategy now, just to run it until nothing's left and pray for a caution in the fall and trap these guys behind him. It's certainly not a great strategy, but it might be the only one left in the playbook here.
Yeah, and also for Jason Wallet right there from Drexel, he's got the job of trying to get sorted out, as you can see 13 moving 5 right there, and yeah, staying ahead of Drew Williams. Now, new tires, he needs the caution quickly because Drew Williams is not far behind Jason Wallet, and so if that driver does unlap himself, then the game is up really for the 76, and I say that, but there he is. That is the 23, and it is not looking as good for Jason Wallet right now.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, you do what you can, but what you can do is just simply not enough, I would imagine. Is you see what the fresh tires are doing here. Andrew Williams just cutting through the field. Got by Wallet with ease now to the outside of Austin DeLong through the tri-oval, making it look pretty straightforward as he really launches it in the corner. That's where those fresh tires are the most evident, is how hard you can drive it into the turns without there being an issue. But here comes, as you can see, He's only about a couple seconds behind Halterman here, but he is a lap down. So once he clears the 07, he'll have to find a way to get around again. And obviously, as this continues, he'll keep making up plenty of time on Halterman. But there's still a full lap worth of track that he'll have to make up here. So it's not going to be enough for Halterman. He does need to come down pit road one more time before the end of the race here, but he's going to run that thing until there's probably nothing left, and he's just going to keep praying that a yellow flies at some point here soon. And you never know when it could. I mean, as tires start to wear out, these cars start getting really tough to manage through the corners. He might get lucky, he might not, but it's about the only thing left that he can do other than keep running laps and see what happens.
Yeah, and I'm going to add to the chaos a little bit, Alex, and remind all our viewers that when these Gen 4 cars were running in real life, it was not so uncommon every once in a while to come down during green flag conditions late in the race and execute the splash and go. No tires. Sometimes the car didn't even stop, but all you needed to do was put a gallon or two in that quick access fuel filler cap, and then you were back on your road as your pit crew pushed you off. So I don't know the timing. We know that these pit stops here, that would be about a 2 or 3 seconds in the pit box, and Halterman would have to come to a complete stop. But time on pit road is about 20 seconds, and Ohio State University is a little bit further than that back. So, Ohio State University probably not going to do that, but Clemson, maybe it'd be very close as those two drivers came out. Drew Williams would still have to make the pass, but it would be fun to observe.
Yeah, it certainly would. And we also got breaking news that here comes Halterman now. I'll save the breaking news for 1 second here. You see the 07 coming down pit road. It sounded like Zach DeWale got hit with speeding on pit road during the money stop. That may have absolutely ended his chances at the Garage Shop College Cup Series championship here tonight. Oh, and the 07 overshoots the pit box a little bit. He has to really bring it back. He's going to try and get it into the box this time. Another championship contender with pit road struggles here today at Atlanta. Another shot in the foot there. And all of a sudden, if you are Drew Williams, you might be in the clear.
You might be in the clear, and wow, what an event. Yeah, DeWale, I did not see that, but DeWale with the confirmed pit road speeding penalty, that's not going to help. And then right here, the 07 Clint Halterman just trying to miss the box. You got to get in there. And so we'll see where we cycle out, but wow, that is going to change a lot. And by the way, let's not forget that our current championship leader, while we are amidst the pit cycle chaos, is Drexel University and Jason Wallace. So should we end right now, the biggest trophy goes to the East Coast.
That is true, although he still needs to bring it down pit road one more time, I believe, before it's all said and done. And he does have a pretty noteworthy gap. It's about 18-ish seconds, maybe 19 seconds, back to Andrew Williams, but obviously that gap is decreasing with each passing lap. Only about 22 laps to go here from Atlanta, but the 76, Josh, correct me if I'm wrong, he does need to come down pit road one more time, otherwise he will run out of fuel.
No, he does. He most certainly does, and he is not going to pull this one out without some type of caution, or I don't know, everybody else just needs to miss their box and make a mistake, and he's got to be flawless while it does if he's going to do that. By the way, you can see the pace differential right there as Clemson moves around the inside pretty casually. So yeah, it's gonna need to we're gonna need some external circumstances and a bit of luck for the 76, but we have said that his parting piece is to put that car up front towards the end of every race, no matter the circumstances. So that will be something to watch.
That it will be. He's holding on to about, let's say, 15.5 second gap at the moment here. As you see Halterman roaring past Garrett Vinton here. He's trying to make up all the ground he can, because if there is a late caution, that would regroup the field, so every position matters here if there is a late restart. But if this stays green to the end, Halterman's chances, I think, are all but dashed, as are Zach DeWale's. I mean, he has served his time penalty. He still remains on the lead lap, but certainly heartbreaking for UNC Charlotte and St. Clair College. I mean, the two of them have been two of the best drivers in the series all year. Between them, they've combined for 4 wins and 20 top 10s. I mean, or sorry, 3 wins and 17 top 10s, but still, I mean, impressive numbers from both of those drivers. But not going to be enough here if this goes green to the end. You see the tire differential there as Halterman just flies past Jason Willott. But that is also because the 76 still has not come down pit road yet. And given that they came down pit road in the around lap 74, 75-ish, there's not too many laps of fuel left in that car. He came down to lap 72, yeah, so even if he's able to stretch it, say, 50 laps or so, which would be a bit longer than we were anticipating, it still gets him about 10 laps short. So no way he's going to be able to save an extra 10 laps worth of fuel, to my knowledge here, especially with the pace that Morton and Andrew Williams are setting, as that gap shrinks down to 13 seconds between Willott and Andrew Williams.
Yeah, that's gonna be pretty tricky, but he's got to get a caution right here. I think maybe if he can get a couple more laps and we get the caution there in 3 or 4 more laps, then everybody probably comes down pit road knowing that the tires are so serious here, and everybody's got a set hanging out in their backyard. So that's probably the one scenario where Drexel comes out on top, and can't rule out yellow flags. We've seen a couple tonight, but it's got to come. Just after these drivers start to get out of that fresh tire window, and it's got to come before that gas tank in the 76 runs out of gasoline.
Yeah, and at some point here, that's going to show up here. But until then, the 76 content to just keep running and as well as the 76 will let them. As well as the fuel will let him. So, but Matthew Morton here, the gap between Austin DeLong, who is currently our race leader as it stands, he's been about a second ahead of Jason Willott most of this stint. We've focused on the 76 for the championship implications, but for the race lead, it is the 22, but he currently leads by about 9.5 seconds over Ohio State's Matthew Morton. Morton closing off about a second or so a lap by my rough estimate here. But that gap continuing to expand as looks like Willott has really fallen off the back of DeLong as well. He's lost almost a second over the course of the past lap here, so he finally will bring it down pit lane. Here comes the 76 toward pit road. A little bit of a lockup. We'll have to see if that was a speeding penalty or not. I think he probably got it settled down in time, though. Andrew Williams will cycle back to the front of the championship standings. Austin DeLong still leads out in front, but the 76 down pit road for the final time here. The lone opportunity the 76 had to win this championship may have just went out the door.
Yeah, and we'll have to see how the cards fall for the end of this one. And Drew Williams now is in the good opportunity spot again. Did the least amount of shenanigans coming down pit road, and I guarantee that those other drivers, if this is how we end, Alex, those other drivers will sleep very poorly tonight, and you would if you're a competitor. Those drivers have put themselves in position all season to make a run here, and that is the result there. It only takes one misstep. And Austin DeLong on pit road as well. But you are correct, Alex. Ohio State University leads the race. Clemson University and Drew Williams leads the championship. Let's not forget there that Jason Willott has found himself in 9th position, still in front of Zach DeWale with that speeding penalty after it all shakes out. And Clint Halterman, and I don't want to rule out Clint Halterman, but he is about 12 seconds back there after missing his pit stop, and I see smoke on the inside, but we stay green right there and nothing on our monitor either. So perhaps just a little bit of excitement right there. Looks like Austin DeLong trying to get off pit road, but yeah, staying green for the time being. That was what Jason Willott needed maybe about 2 laps ago, Alex.
Yeah, certainly was, but it didn't bring out a caution either way. But when you think about the summer season here, the Garage Shop College Cup Series season, I mean, these guys have been racing week in, week out for 12 of the past 13 weekends. You know, this has been months of season that has boiled down into one final race. And if you're Clint Halterman or if you're Zach DeWale, to have all the culmination of all that work, all that effort, all that time shake out into a pit road misstep that will cost you a chance at the Garage Shop College Cup Series championship. That's just got to be heartbreaking, and at this point they're just praying for a caution to try and rectify that mistake earlier on. But with how spread out the field is right now, I would be surprised if there was one at this point. There is not really another car in the same zip code as Andrew Williams right now, so he's probably just content to keep logging laps and just hoping this stays green to the end. Less than 10 laps to go here from Atlanta, and right now the 23 of Andrew Williams in prime position.
There is, Alex, there is genuinely not a car in the same corner or straightaway as Drew Williams, depending on where he is. So smooth sailing for that driver. Jason Wallet takes off another position ahead of Garrett Vitten, their 7th position. But yeah, here you go, the 23 car and Drew Williams, and he did his best. You could hear how excited he was at Chicagoland, bringing that Gen 4 down to victory. He's had a couple slip away, but it put him into the playoffs. And then at Dover, drove a really great race at Dover to put himself in this position. But Alex, he has, he's been in CIL for a while. Drew Williams has done a pretty good job in multiple seasons and in this season to get each race completed and put himself in a very good place. And so here you go, the least amount of mistakes coming out on top.
Yeah, it really has been a tale of the least amount of mistakes here as the 888 of Andrew Burrell now on pit road here. Halterman has gotten around Edward Sanchez for 3rd. Baruch College will have to settle into 4th right now, but will probably be able to maintain that as there's not another car coming for another 5 seconds or so. Halterman is making time up on Andrew Williams. He's gained over 3 seconds in the past 10 laps, but simply not enough time here for Halterman to try and close off the gap. Matthew Morton also, I mean, he's clearing ahead, going to take this win here. You see the gap between Williams and Halterman. Halterman's chopping time off the gap, but it's just not nearly fast enough here with only 6 laps to go. Right now, Andrew Williams, you can't afford to let yourself get complacent. But do you think he's starting to sink it? Do you think it's starting to sink in a little bit, or do you think he has to stay like hyper focused for the next 5-6 laps here before he even dares think about it?
You know, it's a great question, and we'll ask Drew here and all these drivers actually as they get out of the car. But that's going to be a test, right? College students, we know that mental discipline is a big character development trait during the collegiate time of their careers and lives. So yeah, I'm sure he is thinking about the high level situation. He knows what's going on here. He sees the big gap back, but he's got to focus. We've just seen a number of mistakes that we don't normally see from these drivers. So he's got to manage his tires here for the last 3 or 4 laps. I know he's not that low on fuel, but he's got to keep that car pointed straight. He doesn't want to overrun the corner. He doesn't want to hurt himself in any way, because it does not take a lot of friction up against that wall or a misstep off the corner to reduce that 9-second gap that he's got. By the way, which is already slowly coming down as Halterman puts in a little bit of time. But yeah, Halterman would need a mistake from Drew Williams if he is to get the job done.
Yeah, and I mean, if things continue here, I think he'll be in good shape. But coming on 3 laps to go here as Morton hit the stripe. 4 seconds behind, it is the 23 of Andrew Williams, who is still 9 seconds clear of Clint Halterman. Clemson University only a couple laps away now from what would be their first ever CIL Oval Championship, to my understanding. One of the longtime staples of the league. But also for Drew Williams, I mean, a longtime vet of the series, always was in the hunt, but never was able to break through to the winner's circle until this year. Capped it off with 2 wins and now potentially 2 laps away from a championship.
And that would be very exciting. You could hear him reference it in those winning interviews when he was on. And we know that this is pretty significant there as these drivers come to the white flag. Can't forget that Ohio State is up at front with this race win in hand. This, again, barring any excitement here, that 13 car will find victory lane for the 5th time this season, the most of any driver of any school here in the CIL summer season, season 8. The white flag has indeed flown for both the Ohio State Buckeyes there and Drew Williams and Clemson University. Those orange wheels cannot spin fast enough for Williams to get him across the line one last time this season.
Yeah, Matthew Morton will take it into turns 3 and 4, an easy 4-second gap. It'll be an easy victory here for Matthew Morton and Ohio State. They'll take the win from Atlanta Motor Speedway, but coming off of turn 4 to claim the Garage Shop College Cup Series championship, Andrew Williams, your season 9 champion, Clemson University. Welcome to immortality.
That is correct. Drew Williams, Orange Wheel Racing, Clemson University. That group is going to be hanging out in South Carolina tonight. What a move and what a play. Kept it flawless all race long. And yeah, what can you say, Alex? That Clemson machine will find the victory lane of the season tonight. And wow, what excitement it was.
What excitement indeed. I mean, that's one of those moments for Williams to see the other cars coming up to, give them a little bit of a nudge, a little bit of congratulations, a bit of a spin there between a couple of championship rivals. But the celebration is gonna be on here for Drew Williams and for Clemson University, picking up only the not a win here tonight on the column. Will finish second place to Ohio State, but overall in the championship for the victory. And you see all the Clemson cars in the field today doing burnouts on the front stretch. They're happy to celebrate with their teammate, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's awesome, and that is, I believe, the first in the oval side for Clemson University. So we talked about just how fast and how much of a staple that Clemson University is, but I think that is the first CIL championship for Clemson University, and how exciting is that? And I think Drew Williams is going to go till he runs out of gas or runs out of motor. I think he's having a pretty good time right now.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty safe assessment, if I do say so myself.
All these drivers seeming to have a good time there at the front, and Zach DeWale as well, I believe, takes home third place in this championship, because I want to see where Drexel finished with Jason Wall. Actually, Drexel finished, so would be fourth place for Zach DeWale, but nonetheless, all those drivers with a very good finish up to this point.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And drivers starting to climb out of the virtual cars now, per se, and hopefully we'll have an opportunity to talk to a few of them. Obviously, we'll talk to our race winner Matthew Morton, and hopefully as many of our championship 4 as we can, especially Garage Shop College Cup Series champ Andrew Williams. Josh, I'll just float it out there. How do you want to bring them in? We've got a long list of folks that we'd like to talk to here tonight, especially with it being a short race. We've got plenty of time. So, who do you want to kick off with?
Yeah, we do, but let's go ahead and speak with our race winner, and Matthew Morton. And Matt, Ohio State University, congratulations on this race win. You had a pretty strong fight with Drew Williams at a couple points, but came out on top.
Thank you, guys. Yeah, we had a good battle there in the middle of the race. We were obviously pushing hard, trying to get the clean air, but Drew's the champion. He had a great season. It was fun racing him all season long, so it's good to see him win this race, or win the championship.
Yeah, congrats on the win there, Matt. Obviously, your 5th win of the season here. It's been a pretty successful year, except for not able to take home the championship per se. But do you still look at this season overall as a success with 5 wins through the 10 races you were able to enter? I'd say that was a pretty solid success rate over the course of the summer.
Yeah, I mean, my goal this season was just to have fun, get to race around new people in a new league. Obviously, winning was a goal of mine, and I think I achieved that pretty good. But yeah, just going back, the goal was just to have fun, and that was ultimately what I think I had during the season. Even though I wasn't competing for the championship tonight, I just still wanted to go out there and have some fun.
I think the fun was achieved, and we had fun watching you guys battle very close to artists mastering their craft there. So before we turn you loose, is there anybody that makes this possible for you that you want to give a shout out to?
Just want to thank you guys for commentating over this race. Thank the Garage Shop, the sponsor of this league, for sponsoring the series over the summer. And yeah, that's basically it.
There you go. Congratulations, Matthew, and all the folks back in Columbus should be very, very proud. Looking forward to seeing a lot more from that crew come the fall here coming up.
Thank you guys. Congrats, Drew, and go Bucks.
Yeah, there you have it. So the race winner straight away, and we are mixing up the formula a little bit tonight, but we can see what's going on. So straight away, it looks like we will bring in Zach DeWale. And Zach, maybe not how you would have chosen the pit stop, but walk us through this whole race, because for a long, long time, Alex and I up here in the booth did not know how this was going to play out.
Well, honestly, I didn't either. From the first pit stop, I went into the pits the first time and looped it on that first stop. So that wasn't ideal. Thought I was going to come out in like 5th after pitting from wherever I was 2nd. Ended up leading some laps after that, which I did not expect. And then from there, it was just kind of managing being on older tires than everybody else. And then that last pit stop, I just made a mistake, and I locked up the brakes or something coming into pit lane, and was about 30 miles an hour too fast. So they threw the book at me for that one.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's certainly a rough go on pit lane there tonight. But overall, when you look at it, I mean, obviously you had some pretty decent pace now. You had great pace throughout the season here. And obviously, it's maybe a little early to tell, but if you'll have an opportunity soon on to look back at this season, do you have any takeaways from how your summer season went, and anything that carry into the fall competition season?
Yeah, it turns out practice is pretty good for you. I didn't put a whole lot of practice into this car. I'm not saying that's an excuse. These guys are just really good in this car. I think the next gen's a bit more suited to the way I drive. But yeah, I mean, it was a lot of fun. I definitely made some mistakes that probably just came down to careless driving, distracted driving, and a lot of things I could have done better this season. But I had a lot of fun driving this car. It was a really good time, and just super happy for Drew. Honestly, it's a great day for OWR.
There you have it. Well, congrats. Awesome run all season. Awesome run tonight. Before we let you go, is there anybody that you want to give a shout out to that makes this possible for you?
Absolutely, yeah. Emily, Riley, Jordan, Emily's dad, everyone at home, all the boys back at the shop. Yeah, it was definitely not the result we wanted for the season. I think we could have done a lot better, but what are you going to do?
Well, I'll tell you what is on tap is we're really looking forward to seeing St. Clair, seeing you, Zach, back in the fall. It's coming up soon, and that's exactly what you can do is continue putting on the show for us up here in the booth. But congrats again. Very fun to watch, and yeah, these other drivers are going to have a big hassle from you guys when we go back to school.
Thanks, sir.
And that was Alex Zach DeWale. He was, you heard, actually, I did 30 miles an hour over the speed limit is a pretty notable.
Pretty impressive.
I think that's, yeah, if you tried that on the road, you'll probably not be driving home. So I wouldn't recommend it to our aspiring drivers out there. But next up, we do have a chance to talk with our third place finisher, Jason Wallet. Jason from Drexel University, walk us through that whole race and just tell us about it, man. You were kind of on an alternate strategy there the whole time, but we really enjoyed watching you race your race, and you were right there at the end.
I don't think really an alternate strategy. It was just okay for the first 7-8 laps. I was really I kind of sucked on tire conservation, so didn't have much options but to stay out as long as possible. And then that played until like lap 70. From there, it was more the same, just me trying to push forward a bit but sagging back on tires. Then in the run from the caution around lap 90, I know I couldn't beat the other guys on. I know I couldn't beat everyone else on tires, so I decided to long cut everyone and use the tire advantage I get to gain on everyone. I mean, I cut down up to like 14 seconds on Andrew, so if we had more time, then heck, I might have gotten second or even close to the win.
Yeah, sorry, Jason. Congrats on the season as a whole. I mean, you really battled throughout the year. I mean, it was a grind to make the playoffs. It was a grind to make the Final Four, and even throughout the course of the season and the course of the race night, you were still in the hunt to the very end there. Is there any takeaways you have from this summer season here that you're going to carry into the fall?
Yeah, I gotta work a lot more on tire conservation and general race strategy. Got outplayed a couple of times and couldn't save my tires as well as the other people. Plus, I gotta practice a bit more so I can stay consistent with the leaders. And we also gotta work a lot more on getting playoff points in general, not just top tens.
Yeah, I think the tires were something that we even spoke about in the booth up here, Alex, with everybody trying to manage both the right front, right rear, so that later on in the run, the car was a little bit more drivable. But yeah, Jason, before we let you go on with your evening, is there anybody that you want to thank?
Yeah, Tim, if you're watching this, thanks for being a good teammate throughout all these weeks. And thanks to Drexel for sponsoring me and helping and allowing me to be here, and Mom and Dad for helping me get my sim rig and everything, and everyone else who helped me along the way.
Yeah, there you have it. It is it's a team effort to put these cars up front, and Jason and Drexel, I think you've got it. So congrats, enjoy your night, and an awesome, awesome summer season from yourself and from Drexel. Congratulations.
Thanks, you too.
That was Jason Wallet from Drexel University, who was in the hunt all season long and in this race. But Alex, let's then move on now to Clint Halterman. And Clint Halterman from North Carolina at Charlotte, having the ability to get up front and a little bit of excitement there at the end. But it was a long race, Clint. What was the plan? It looked like Morton and Williams had a little bit of an advantage all race long, but what did it look like from your perspective?
Yeah, they were the class of the field. I was really trying at the beginning just to take care of my tires as much as I could, and Andrew. I wasn't worried about Ward. Ward was he was gonna do his thing. I was racing Andrew, and I let Andrew get a big gap. I was like, okay, he's using up his tires. He's using up his tires, and then I never caught him. So he was able to go faster than me and use less tire. But yeah, that's a tough one. I made that mistake on pit road, and I think I would have had the tire advantage there at the end to get him. I lost about 8-9 seconds there with that mistake, and I finished 8-9 seconds behind him. So, but he did a great job all season. He deserves a championship. But man, I'm gonna be kicking myself for that mistake for a while.
Yeah, it's certainly a rough one. We were talking about it in the booth a little bit. Tonight's race was kind of highlighted by just situations on pit road that ended up costing people a chance at the championship here. But my question I've been asking some folks as they've come through the booth here, and I want to ask you as well. Is there any takeaways you have from this summer season that you're going to carry with you into the fall competition season as well?
Well, hopefully I'll lessen the stupid mistakes like tonight, and But I think my first season was in the spring, and looking back, I just had a lot of just inconsistency and just stuff happened, and I feel like I cleaned up some of that during the summer. I felt like I was definitely a lot more consistent. And I think this car just suits me a little bit better than the next gen, but I also was faster than the spring. But I think just being more consistent, and I think especially in these cars, you really got to take care of the tires, and that's just been something I've been trying to learn throughout the entire season is taking care of the tires. And I know in the next gen, taking that care of that right front is gonna be super important. So yeah, just being patient, but also just got to learn how to push at the right time. And I think that's something that hurt my pace kind of tonight. I was just taking it a little bit too easy and let those guys get a big gap on the at the beginning of the race. But yeah, I think just trying to be more consistent.
I think you've been pretty consistent, Clint, all season long. Is there anybody that you want to give a shout out to before we turn you loose tonight? Makes this possible.
Oh yeah, I just want to give a shout out my friends and family, my friends Joel and Jared who were watching along with me. And I also want to give a shout out to the other three playoff guys, Jason and Zach and Andrew especially. Raced Andrew super well this year, Zach as well. Just raced them, it was just a fun time all summer racing those guys and Morton as well, and just everyone. It was a lot of fun, and I'm just glad that the raced me clean and raced them clean. It was just good racing, so I want to give a shout out to them and shout out to you guys for putting this on. I had a great time.
And I think we had a great time watching you all compete. But congratulations. It was a hard fought race, hard fought season. And go take a little break, and we will see you again in the fall coming up here.
All right. Thank you, guys. I'll see you in the fall.
And we are almost there. It is now time, Alex, to talk to our championship winner, Drew Williams from Clemson University. And Drew Williams, tell us, what are you thinking?
Man, I am at a loss for words. This has been a crazy season. Picked up the first win at Chicagoland, and it just felt like we ran away with it from there. I've had winning pace every single week. From joining this league, 5 seasons ago, I never thought we'd get this far.
Yeah, man. I mean, hey, congratulations on the championship win. And yeah, I mean, you one of the long-standing vets, especially on the student side. I mean, we have some folks who run some student and then run some alumni, but you've been part of the student division for the past number of seasons here, and it's cool to see the culmination of a journey per se. I mean, you came in and you had decent pace, but nothing setting the world on fire. And as the course of time has gone on, you've gotten better and better, and now you sit atop the mountaintop here. My question for you is, what's the view like, and will you be able to repeat come the fall?
Dude, the view is amazing. It really is a surreal feeling to finally top these guys. Every single one of them that race here, they all are so fast. And when I started running here, it felt impossible to even keep up with the mid pack. So getting to go through that evolution over 45 odd Mondays has been just something spectacular. Will I do it in the fall? Man, I hope so. But we got some quick guys coming in the fall, and the next gen is a whole different beast to run. So I'm super excited to come see.
I think we are excited to see as well. But don't jump too far ahead. You got a little break. Enjoy the view at the top. Is there anybody that makes this possible you want to give a shout out to, Drew, before we let you go? Drink a bunch of milk tonight.
Yeah. Thank you to Orangeville Racing for running with me every single week. Those guys are awesome. And they give me all the support I need to come up with this stuff. And thanks to Clemson Esports for showing me this. Thanks every friend and family who puts up with me running this stupid hobby every single week. Yeah, and thanks to CIL for putting on a great show.
There you go. Well, congrats, Clemson, Drew, Orange Wheels. You guys earned it, and Drew you will get to hang out in Victory Lane for some time as we wait until the fall kicks up. So congratulations again, Drew, the top of the Golden Banners here at Atlanta.
Thank you.
And with that, we do have actually one more interview, a bit of bonus coverage per se, since we have some time here with it being a relatively caution-free race. We're going to bring in the alumni winner, the fifth place finisher of Nick Stockner, also of Clemson. Nick, congratulations on the alumni win. I'm sorry it got overshadowed a little bit by your teammate bringing home the championship here. But what's it like bringing home the alumni W and being teammates there on the championship team?
Well, being the team owner of the Clemson OWR conglomerate, man, it feels really good to just be a champion team owner. The amount of work that we put in, the amount of calculations that we put in. I feel no ill will towards Shadow, and Drew deserves every single thing that's been given to him. I recruited that kid when it was the fall of 2022 to be on the Clemson team and be on the OWR team, and it feels really good to have him along. But man, as far as I'm concerned with the alumni win, the Milliken and Company, Daikin Applied America's Orangeville Racing Chevrolet, she was doing pretty good today. Didn't unload well, didn't have good luck early on, got spun out by, I think it was Sanchez or whatever his name was, when we got started. But we worked from the back. We got a lot of good luck our way and kept the car straight and drove it like Atlanta, and it felt pretty good out there today.
There you go. Yeah, Nick, what is next as we hang out here? We look ahead to the fall season. Does your group get a little break there?
We as Orangeville Racing, we've been doing a little bit of recruiting. We've been doing a little bit of recruiting within CIL to build the conglomerate, as well as within the university, trying to see if any other Clemson guys, want to come along for the ride. We have other leagues that we race in. We do as a team outside of just competing for our college. I mean, to represent Clemson University, a college that gave me a whole lot of opportunity is a privilege. Privilege I definitely don't take lightly. But as far as Orangeville Racing goes, we'll definitely have a good celebration. We'll have a good party. We'll definitely. We'll have a damn good night. But it's right back to it. We got some really stiff competition in the fall, and a different car. We're going back to the next gen. Our next gen notebook is not complete. We definitely need to get to work on that, but we will be ready for the fall. We will be ready to defend our title, and we will not go out quietly.
There you go. Well, we couldn't conclude a CIL interview without asking you, Nick, if there's anybody that you want to give a shout out to, makes this possible for you, guys that you want to thank.
Well, of course, I gotta thank my mom, my grandparents, Baba and Nina, my grandma, for putting up with my racing shenanigans as a kid all the way to today. Gotta thank Orangeville Racing, the team that continues to believe in me. We continue to believe in each other. Gotta thank the partners that come on the car every week: Milliken and Company, Daikin Applied Americas, Half Transport Incorporated, Handy Dan's Landscaping. You got Logitech and Mariah B Sweets. Gotta thank my girlfriend Mariah for watching tonight. It was a little bit of support from afar, but yeah, I got a long list. But man, there's a lot of people that put this car together, and just had to make sure I get everybody in there.
There you go, not missing a beat. Well, congrats. Good race win here at Atlanta. What a better place to put that Clemson machine, that 124 machine, in the alumni victory lane. Nick, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
And there you have it. I think that concludes, Alex, our interviews. But, it's the end of the season. Everybody, there's a lot of folks to talk to and get thoughts, and every perspective is unique. That's one of the best parts of it.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, with it being the end of the season, it's time to have an opportunity to talk to everybody here as they rolled in. But I suppose it is time for us to read our finishing results here after we had an opportunity to talk to a good bit of tonight's field. So if we have an opportunity to bring that up on screen, we'll read them out for you. So as you saw, it was Matthew Morton from Ohio State University going from 14th to 1st to pick up the victory here at Atlanta. He picks up his 5th win of the season, but it was second place, and Andrew Williams picks up the championship win for Clemson University. Clinton Halterman, 3rd for UNC Charlotte, the runner-up of the championship 4. Jason Wallet, with his late surge, moved up to 4th place, finishing 3rd amongst the championship 4. And Edward Sanchez got the final spot in the top 5 for Baruch College today, and that was a really good run for him. Nick Stockner finishes 6th and gets the alumni victory tonight for Clemson. 7th is Matthew Nordberg out of NC State. 8th is Garrett Fitton for Arizona State, and the final member of our championship 4, Zach DeWale. The speeding penalty cost him big time tonight, and he'll finish 9th, 1 lap down. 10th is Austin DeLong. 11th, Timothy Wilms out of Drexel. 12th, Cody Fadenhauer for VCU. 13th was Christian Hill from Mount St. Mary's. And in 14th, Andrew Burrell from Clemson University. And with that, Josh, that not only brings up the end of the grid, but also the end of Season 9 here for the Garage Shop College Cup Series.
Yeah, the Garage Shop has made this really fun, made this possible here for these drivers. You could hear it throughout the season, and tonight a couple drivers grateful as well. And what a season. And the Gen 4 cars opted for a small experiment, did a little bit something that was a little bit different with these drivers, chose the cars, chose the track, and was a ton of fun. Kicked the season off at Auto Club, and I don't even know if we stopped. We did Auto Club, Rockingham, Chicagoland, cars running 2 and 3 wide, same at Homestead, same at Atlanta. What fun this season, and the fun's going to continue. As we go into the fall here of this year. It's going to be very exciting for these drivers, and as new schools, new competitors come in and storylines regrow. Obviously, you can't overlook Clemson. That group has been right. It wasn't if, it was really when for that group. They've been growing their knowledge base, growing their driver base, and really working quite well with other teams. And you heard it have even garnered the respect of the garage as well. So no surprise here that our summer season, season 8, wraps up with the Clemson Tigers atop, and Drew Williams atop the drivers here.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been a really, really fun season, and we'll get back at it in only a few weeks here. I mean, the fall season, probably about a month away, rough estimate. I mean, from recent memories, usually starts early to mid-September, so not too many weeks will go by before there's more CIL oval action. And with the fall being one of the academic semesters, you'll certainly see a much more full crowd on track, as they tends to grow during the school years and shrink down a little bit during the summer when people use it as an opportunity to recoup and reset a little bit. So more fun and more thrills on its way in only a few weeks.
That's exactly what's going on, and even next Monday will be very exciting. They do World 100. We expect to broadcast, and Zach DeWale has quite kindly put on an event, and so we will be there. The super late models will be plummeting around Eldora in Ohio, and it will be very exciting. A little bit different on CIL, not a lot of dirt events, certainly not televised, but will be very exciting for these drivers to try something new, and very exciting for the handful of drivers that really enjoy that style of racing. It is different, and if you enjoyed the multi-grooved racing here at Atlanta and the position changes here at Atlanta, Homestead, Chicagoland, you name it, then you will be a great big fan of dirt racing, especially super late models there at Eldora. A lot of room to move about the cabin for those drivers, and some of us are going to truly learn what a slide job is. So there you have it. That is the same time. You all know it. 9 p.m. Eastern. The green flag will drop next Monday, and then 2 weeks later, we kick off our fall season. The Clash on the 28th. These drivers will be running a non-points exhibition race. Everybody getting acquainted there. So we talk about the break, Alex, but not too much. We are still racing on.
You bet. There's more action to come next week at the World 100. But until then, for Josh and everyone here at the CIL, that's going to do our coverage here tonight from Atlanta Motor Speedway. I've been Alexander Gagnon. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll see you next week, and we'll see you in the fall for more CIL action.